Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Chayamudiraye.
Chayamudiraye.
Nashta Preshabhadreshu.
Nashta Preshabhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Hare Krishna, my dear friends, devotees, please be, supportive in listening, attentive. And I hope I can say something also to the benefit of this audience. But in general, Krishna Katha, if spoken, honest and chaste, is automatically attractive. Especially if we are devotionally inclined, if we have some attachment to Krishna, then there's some more interest, of course, there. In the beginning, we might not have so much relationship with Krishna and so not so much relationship with Katha, but when our understanding of Krishna and Krishna consciousness grows, then automatically also our interest in Katha grows. Because then we are happy if the Lord is glorified and spoken about Him. So we are reading today in the morning about from the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are also very blessed that we can read the Srimad Bhagavatam, that we can understand it to some degree, and that we can relish Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a great honor also. So Srila Prabhupada said daily recitation of Bhagavatam has to be done. So he institutionalized this, as also in this verse which we chanted now, he said, daily readings of going to attending Bhagavatam class, he says in this verse, Nashta Preshabhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Says daily, in this Nityam means regular, daily attending the Bhagavatam class. Very practical translation. And this is what we are doing in ISKCON. So all over the world at this time, according to their time zone, there's a recitation of Bhagavatam, as the sages in Naimisharanya were also hearing from Sutta. So it's a yagya. It's a wonderful yagya, an auspicious yagya. So we are reading from the first canto called Creation, chapter 15, which is entitled The Pandavas Retire Timely, and we will read the text 35. Yatha matsyadi rupani.
Yatha matsyadi rupani.
Yatha matsyadi rupani.
Yatha matsyadi rupani.
Dhate cha yad yathanatah.
Dhate cha yad yathanatah.
Dhate cha yad yathanatah.
Dhate cha yad yathanatah.
Bhuparaksha pito yena.
Bhuparaksha pito yena.
Bhuparaksha pito yena.
Bhuparaksha pito yena.
Chahautats cha kalevaram.
Chahautat cha kalevaram.
Chahautats cha kalevaram.
Chahautat cha kalevaram.
Please.
Yatha.
As much as
Matsyadi.
Incarnation as a fish,
Incarnation as a fish,
etc.
etc.
Rupani,
Rupani.
forms.
Forms.
Dhate, eternally accepts. Chayat,
Chayad.
apparently relinquishes.
Apparently relinquishes.
Yata, exactly like.
Exactly like.
Nataha,
Nataha.
magician.
Magician.
Bhubharaha,
Bhuvara.
burden of the world.
Burden of the world.
Kshapitaha,
Shapitaha.
relieved.
Relieved.
Jena,
Jena.
by which.
By which.
Chaho,
Chaho.
let go.
Let go.
Tat,
Tat.
that.
That.
Cha,
Cha.
also.
Also.
Kalevaram,
Kalevaram.
body.
Body.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
The Supreme Lord relinquishes the body which He manifests to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magician, He relinquishes one body to accept different ones, like the fish incarnation and others. Purport. The Supreme Personality of God, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead. Well, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is neither impersonal nor formless, but his body is non-different from him, and therefore he is known as the embodiment of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. In the Brihad Vaishnava Tantra, it is clearly mentioned that anyone who considers the form of Lord Krishna to be made of material energy must be ostracized by all means. And if by chance the face of such an infidel is seen, one must clean himself by jumping in the river with his clothing. The Lord is described as Amrita, or deathless, because he has no material body. Under the circumstances, the Lord's dying or quitting his body is like the jugglery of a magician. The magician shows by his tricks that he is cut to pieces, burned to ashes, or made unconscious by hypnotic influences. But all are false shows only. Factually, the magician himself is neither burned to ashes nor cut to pieces, nor is he dead or unconscious at any stage of his magical demonstration. Similarly, the Lord has his eternal forms of unlimited variety, of which the fish incarnation, as was exhibited within this universe, is also one. Because there are innumerable universes, somewhere or other the fish incarnation must be manifesting his pastimes without cessation. In this verse, the particular word dhate, eternally accepted, and not the word ditva, accepted for the occasion, is used. The idea is that the Lord does not create the fish incarnation. He eternally has such a form, and the appearance and disappearance of such an incarnation serves particular purposes. In the Bhagavad Gita 7:24-25, the Lord says, "The impersonalists think that I have no form, that I'm formless, but that at present I have accepted a form to serve a purpose, and now I'm manifested. But such speculators are factually without sharp intelligence. Though they may be good scholars in the Vedic literatures, they are practically ignorant of my inconceivable energies and my eternal forms of personality. Their reason is that I reserve the power of not being exposed to the non-devotees by my mystic curtain. The less intelligent fools are therefore unaware of my eternal form, which is never to be vanquished and is unborn." In the Padma Purana, it is said that those who are envious and always angry at the Lord are unfit to know the actual and eternal form of the Lord. In the Bhagavatam also it is said that the Lord appeared like a... So ist das ausgegangen? Went out.
Hallo.
Mach mal. Mine works. In the Bhagavatam also it is said that the Lord appeared like a thunderbolt to those who were restless. Shishupal, at the time of being killed by the Lord...
Ich habe keinen Speicher, deswegen.
Oh, lass es.
3 Minuten 49 hier noch.
Lass es. What is this? Unprofessional. You need a good SD card. Huh? Okay. No problem. What can be done? Huh? This technique. Huh? I'm brahmachari. Stupid excuse. I'm brahmachari. I'm brahmachari, so I'm nonsense. I don't see him so good. I want to see this beautiful brahmachari. Like a thunderbolt. Okay, so Shishupal, at the time of being killed by the Lord, could not see him as Krishna, being dazzled by the glare of the Brahmajyoti. Therefore, the temporary manifestation of the Lord as a thunderbolt to the restless appointed by Kamsa, or the glaring appearance of the Lord before Shishupal, was relinquished by the Lord, but the Lord as a magician is eternally existent and is never vanquished in any circumstance. Such forms are temporarily shown to the Asuras only, and when such exhibitions are withdrawn, the Asuras think that the Lord is no more existent. just as the foolish audience thinks the magician to be burned to ashes or cut to pieces. The conclusion is that the Lord has no material body, and therefore he is never to be killed or changed by his transcendental body. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuron-militam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangung Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamahang Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Nena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadama Yom Dadati Svabhadantikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yata matsyadya rupani, dhate cha yadyata nataha, bhupara kshapitojina, cha hautach cha kalivaram. The Supreme Lord relinquishes the body which he manifested to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magician, he relinquishes one body to accept different wants, like the fish incarnation and others. No matter how puzzling it might be, the Lord is always transcendental. He's always the Supreme, He's always the beginningless beginning, He's always our worshipful Lord, even though there might seem some, it seems otherwise. Huh? Like here, how the Lord gives up a body, takes another one, like a normal living entity. So Prabhupada says this is all like a magician. The Lord can do whatever he likes, and even pretending to die, as he did when the Yadu dynasty left, and also he got shot by this hunter. And he said, oh, okay, then I have to die probably now. So even imitates that. He says, Manushya Tanum, I appear in a human form, I pretend to be a human, and he does this perfectly also. Especially for the fools who anyway don't want to surrender to him, that they have more reasons to not surrender. And but the devotee has always faith that the Lord is completely transcendental, even if he acts like this. And it's no problem if we are bewildered. It's no problem that we are bewildered or don't understand perfectly, because then we are in one sense in good company. Queen Kunti, Uddhava, Bhishma, these three personalities express also in prayers in the Bhagavatam their bewilderment. Queen Kunti says, you're the Supreme Lord, I know this, but still you behave like my what is this? In the family relationship, he's the nephew. Huh? You behave like my nephew, so I'm kind of your mother, but I know at the same time you're the Supreme Lord, the ruler of everything. But now you act like my nephew. This is very bewildering. Or Bhishma also says, to Yudhishthira, you think this is also your cousin, your family member, and this and that, but actually it's the Supreme Lord. And Uddhava also, he says, it's very puzzling. I know you're the Supreme, but you act like you are depending on my advice. So to be bewildered like this is no problem if we don't come to false conclusions. The bewilderment should bring us to the right conclusion of the Lord is amazing. Even though He's the Supreme Lord, He's in every atom, He's knowing everything. Vedam, Samatitani, Vartamanani, Charjuna. I know past, present, future, I know everything. He's the Supreme Lord, and He behaves like one of us. There was once a song. What if God would be one of us? That was sung by some pop song or something. And I think the church was complaining. They were complaining, how can you compare God with one of us? But actually, this is our mood. Yeah? Especially, this is our mood as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, especially the God, Krishna, is like one of us. Or we are more like one of His, like that. No? But not the grand style, not the impressive and the awe-inspiring and the powerful. This is actually not the mood we want to establish. But the mood of this very intimate relationship can only be established in one sense on base of that, or going through this. We cannot jump over that. Also Prabhupada said we worship Radha Krishna in Aishwarya, which is in one sense not working, because in Vrindavan this is not the mood. But for us, because we are fallen, and to have respect and to have deep understanding, we should not jump over this platform. Because if we do that and we are not qualified, we make offenses. We cannot imitate the Madhurya devotees. We cannot imitate this. We will make offenses. Okay, then, oh, they are slapping Krishna. Okay, I'll slap Krishna. Hey, Krishna, how's it going? Oh, how's it going, Krishna? This is a Mahaparad, right? This is a great offense. But first, we have to learn, and through the regulations and the worship and all this, our heart gets more and more purified, and the natural, intimate love with Krishna comes out by itself, more or less. We don't have to force it. And then Krishna inspires us how to develop it. Prabhupada gives the example in Nectar of Devotion like a child, which has the ability, the potential to walk, and it starts walking, but still it has to practice. So interesting, Prabhupada gives an example of we have to practice then. We have to cultivate our devotional mood then. When we recognize that it's coming, so to say. Like a small child, you cannot walk now. No, it's not ready. Walk now. It's crawling or lying. Why not walking? I know you can walk. Just get up. It will not work. But at one point in time, it naturally gets up and wants to walk a little bit. Then we help and this and that, and it can walk then freely. So in the same way, we have to be patient to naturally come to the more true mood and love that we have for Krishna, which is inside. What is it called? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai Shravanada Shuddhacheti Karayodai. That the love is intrinsic in the soul. And through Shravanadi, Shravanam, and more, Adi, this word here also we have it, Matsyadi, so on, etc., and so on, hearing, and so on, devotional processes, it will awakens and it rises. Udaya, Udaya, Shravanadi Shuddhacheti Kare, Udaya, Udaya, that means rising, then it will come. So, but the point here in this verse is the puzzling nature of the Lord, and Srila Prabhupada mentions also Bhagavad Gita 7:24 to 25. These are very nice verses, and he gives a very nice kind of a paraphrased translation. So there was a very paraphrased translation, or a purported translation, where he gives them the meaning in the translation. And this verse is Avyaktam Vyaktim Apanam, this is the 7:24. Avyaktam Vyaktim Apanam Manete Mama Buddhaya Parang Bhavama Chanato Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. And 7:25 is the Nahang Prakasha Sarvasya Yogam Muda Nahang Prakasha Sarvasya Yogam Muda, something like this. It's a famous verse. Yogamaya Samavritaha Mudo Yang Nabichanati Lokomam Ajam Avyayam. So in the first verse, the Vaishnava understanding is, Krishna says, Avyaktam Vyaktim Apanam. So, some think that I was Avyakta, and now I'm Vyakta. I have taken now this form, I'm manifested, so to say. Before I was not manifested. But interesting, if the non-manifested says, okay, now I become manifested. It's also kind of weird. How should this work? So Krishna says, some say I was before not manifested and now manifested. But they are abhudayaha. And this is what Prabhupada explains here as no sharp intelligence. You remember in this translation it says, no, they have no sharp intelligence. Abhudayaha, no intelligence. And why? Because they don't know my transcendental nature, and parang bhavama chanato mam avyayam anutamam. And that I'm avyayam means imperishable, and anutama means the finest, or spiritual. And in the next verse he further speaks about these fools. Nahang prakasha sarvasya. I am covered, or I'm not manifested before them because I'm covered. And Prabhupada translates this in this nice translation. He says, curtain. This is a curtain. So this word Yoga Maya Samavrita, we can imagine as like a curtain in front of Krishna, of his yoga, Maya, energy, so that he's not manifest before the fools and rascals, even though he's in front of them. Even though he stands in front of them, they cannot see. They can't understand because he is bewildering them. Yeah? Because they don't have this natural devotional inclination toward them. And it's not that Krishna betrays them or hates them. He just corresponds to their demonic mood. You want to think I'm a human, you want to think I'm this and that, okay. Krishna is always responding towards their mood. And the example is here given of the restless, right? Prabhupada spoke about the restless. In the Bhagavatam also they said that the Lord appeared like a thunderbolt to those who were restless. I don't want to speculate, but there's a verse in the Bhagavatam where it said when Krishna entered the wrestling arena, everyone saw him according to his mood. So I could think that Prabhupada makes here the connection to this famous verse where Krishna enters the wrestling arena and the yogis see him as the Brahman and the Gopas see him as his friend and the Vasudeva Devaki see him as their son, and there are a couple of examples given. And so also these restless, because when Krishna comes in the wrestling arena, it's also said that, that Krishna said something, we should not fight or something, and the wrestlers said, no, we know that you're very strong, and we heard in Vrindavan you fought so many demons, and we would like to fight with you, like in a sportive spirit. Something like this, Krishna said, no, I'm just a cowherd boy, I don't know if this is right, and they said, no, we heard you're a good wrestler. So it seems like they want to have a good fight, because this is what these wrestlers like. Even though Krishna was very small, he said they were like mountains, they were huge, Chanura Mushtika, were like huge guys. And Krishna was just a small cowherd boy. He was how old at that time? 6, 7, 8, something? Who knows that? Something like this. It's also said by the Acharyas, because when you read in the Bhagavatam, it doesn't match with the ages, with his age and the mood he manifests. And it's said that he grew faster than a normal human in that sense. So it means when he was 6, he had a body already of 10 or something. So the mood came out. Because when he was dancing in Ras Leela, he was, according to the material calculation, how old? 6 or 7 years old. But this is not the time for his Kaishore mood. Right? This comes later, 12 years or something. So the Acharya states, Krishna can adjust. No problem for him, all these things. So, and then these wrestlers, they said, no, we heard you're a good fighter. Yeah, Krishna killed, of course, first Putana was the first. He was just a small baby. And she was a feared demoness, Rakshashi. And when he killed her, she had a huge body. And Krishna was just a baby. Then Trinavarta, very powerful, and Bakasura and Agasura. The whole universe was amazed when Krishna killed Agasura. All these demons, right? They were always an obstacle for the demigods, it's said. No? They always had some quarrel with them, but could not defeat them. And when Agasura, who is said, transformed into this huge snake, must be interesting how he looked naturally, normally, huh? It said he was also one. Agasura is not a snake. No? He just transformed in a snake. So he must be like a very powerful, demon or something. And then say, I come as a snake, somehow or other. They always take on animal forms. Once I heard they do this because there's not so much karma involved if they act against their dharma. You heard this? And sometimes the sage also, when Pandu kills the deer, why is a sage taking on the deer body to have sex with his wife, in a deer body? And I heard because if he acts in a human body, there is more moral and so more karmic reaction, the dharma is broken. But in an animal body, because animals, there's no karma. So somehow this is considered, okay, as an animal you can act as you like, so transform into animal and enjoy it, okay, as a deer, okay. Wonderful enjoyment. Okay, so,
No, but he died.
Yeah, he died. That's true, he died. And so maybe also these demons, they consider, okay, we go to earth, because once I heard also, but this is all, that the demons have to respect some certain rules, and they can't, like now, the demons, they would know, oh, we could invade the planet Earth. We come with our, starships, and, we like Independence Day or some alien invasion or something. They could do it every time. But somehow there's some karmic boundary they cannot cross. Yeah? So they can only infiltrate through other means. They cannot make a military, how to say, they cannot strike like that. So maybe also these demons, they say, okay, I cannot come in my huge demon body and grab this Krishna and do like this. Maybe I'll get too much karma. But animals, different. So this one explanation once heard. Because if I'm a demon, I want to kill Krishna, I don't transform into a duck. Right? Bakasura?
Stork,
yeah. Yes, dark. The problem with duck, stork, some, even a stork is not terribly, dangerous in one sense. The stork, what can the stork do? Okay, it was a huge stork, it was a powerful monster stork. But if I'm a demon, I, maybe take another form like this. So this is sometimes interesting why it was like that. So, but when Aghasura came and Krishna killed him, of course, there was like celebration in Svarga. It said in Bhagavatam, the Gandharvas were singing and dancing, and they were showering the flowers, and they were celebrating. Wow, Krishna killed one of our big enemies, Aghasura. They were amazed. Nobody could kill him. A small Krishna, just like this. Actually, it was not small, because why Aghasura was dead, killed? Because Krishna made himself very big. He was inside this huge body of this huge snake, and then he expanded, and then he choked. Yeah, I remember. He choked. This is how he died. He couldn't get any air because Krishna blocked in a huge. He filled the whole body. And there was so much celebration going on that Brahma on the highest planetary system, he saw what's going on there. What are you doing? And then is when he got interested in Krishna. Said, who is this Krishna? True, he killed this soul. Maybe some say it's the Supreme Lord, is my Lord. Can this be? And they looked, and Krishna eating with his left hand, walking with his friends, and this is my Lord, Narayan, Vishnu, grand, great, powerful and pure, and suddenly Krishna choking with his friends and all this. So then he tested, and then he found out it's him. Oh, it's you. You're the Lord. Oh, this is just your Leela, and I better leave now. I cannot understand this. Even 4 heads, 4 brains, no and everything, but this is too much for me. So I leave you with your friends here. And also when Krishna came out from Varuna's kingdom, and then Nanda Maharaj, he had this realization. Recently I told this story also. And Nanda Maharaj saw that this Varuna said is the Lord. And then the Gopas, they realized, oh, we are living together with God. God is living in our village. And they, wow, now you're God, so you can do something for us? And Krishna, yeah, what you want? Oh yeah. And I don't think it's in the Bhagavatam, maybe it's in the commentary of some acharyas that they said, yeah, please show us the Brahmachoti. And Krishna said, the Brahmachoti? What do you want to see the Brahmachoti for? It's boring. I show you the spiritual world. And I said, okay, show us the spiritual world. And then Krishna showed them. And it's in the same place where Krura got. No? It said it's the same place where Krura later will also see the universal form and all this. And then they saw the spiritual world, and they looked, and they said, oh, it looks like our village. And this looked, the same guys like us. The only difference, the personified Vedas were there and were glorifying Krishna. But besides this, our village is the spiritual world. Okay. And they were living together with Krishna. In the beginning, everyone was talking, oh, you saw it, Krishna saw the spiritual world, and he's our Lord, and this and that. And in time, they forgot again. It was not so interesting. It was more interesting to have the ras with Krishna. So sometimes Krishna reveals himself, and then he covers again. Mother Yashoda, showing the universal form in the mouth, and showing the universal form to Arjuna. And Arjuna was like, wow, amazing. But then Arjuna got so afraid that he decided, okay, it's enough. Please show yourself in your Saumya Rupa, in your most beautiful form. And Krishna made this, all this be, end now. And he showed himself in his most beautiful form. And Prabhupada explains in the 18th chapter in the Bhagavad Gita that the devotee only desires two-handed form of Krishna in Vrindavan. Other places, I'm just Krishna. Prabhupada speaks very liberal. Whatever form you attach you like, Ram or Krishna or maybe some avatar, it's all good, yes. But that means in the beginning, our spiritual life is more broad and it gets more and more focused. And then in the end, for a Gaudiya Vaishnava especially, it's only Krishna. Actually not Krishna, it's actually Radha Krishna. Prabhupada brought Radha Krishna. Of course, Krishna Balaram is also there, because it's Raman Reti. This is where Krishna and Balaram played. There's more. Then with the Sakas, with the friends. And this is also one of the aspects. There's a natural focus will happen. It should not be artificial, because then we make offenses. Because we think, oh, Radha Krishna is the highest, Madhurya is the highest. Oh, then of course I want the highest. And then Sakas and parents, well, it's not so interesting. Huh? This was the critique of Prabhupada also for this Gopi Baba Club. In general, it's okay to have a focused reading, yes, but not too early. Because when Prabhupada challenged them, he asked them also, they also said this, that we want to hear only this because it's the highest. And Prabhupada said, no, you will not understand, because you make offenses. Because you think this is the highest, and you think this others is lower. And you think the Sakas and the parents are lower. But this is not how a devotee thinks. Yeah? So this then spiritual hierarchy will come then. Like Prabhupada says, perfect, more perfect, most perfect. Yeah? But this cannot be understood on a material platform. So there we have to be very careful. And so Krishna, as Prabhupada mentions here, is a magician and shows himself and hides himself according to his desire in the end. And Krishna is not even attached. He had said he gave up a body. Right? It's not said in Mahabharata. His body was burned. There was a funeral ceremony of Krishna's body. You know Mahabharata? Isn't it there? Yeah, it's very puzzling. Because Krishna, just does whatever he likes. And the rascals and fools and doubters, they will be bewildered. But devotee not. He knows Krishna can do whatever he likes. He can leave some body, and because in the Mahabharata it's also said, when I read this part, I haven't studied, so I don't know all the details, but it's also said before this ceremony of his, it said when he was shot, he went in his same body to the spiritual world, and it said how he descended through the universe and went to the spiritual world. A couple of verses like this. So you have this, and you have the body funeral. So how does it fit together? Of course it fits together. Krishna just manifests the body according to the situation, to the custom, to the culture, and his spiritual body went back to the spiritual world. No problem. But the fools, they will have an argument now. Oh, see, he's not the Lord, and but if he would not be the Lord, how is it possible that you say his name so often and you become spiritual? Right? If it's just a story, he was just some king, and in time, through the ages, millennia, as it always happens, he becomes a god. It's called anthropomorphism, right? The people like him so much, and then the stories are written, and through the ages, more and more was written, and the story blew up so much that he became God. In the beginning, was just one of the gods, and then he became the main god. It's called henotheism. All right, you have many gods, and one comes out as the main god. So from the polytheism, henotheism, monotheism, the development of the religion, so they can explain everything. But how is it that you say Hare Krishna and you become, as Krishna says, and Prabhupada says, completely spiritual? How is it that the name has a spiritual potency, but Krishna then not? So we should not have another view on Krishna than what the pure devotees tell us, who know Krishna really, not some speculator and doubter and academics and whatever. Of course they will never understand and say Krishna is the Lord. Of course, how they understand? When Krishna says, Nahang prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah. I'm always covered. They will never see me. And why? Because only devotees can see Krishna. Because bhakti mama vichanati, you cannot understand Krishna by your intellect, academics. Oh, I study and then I will understand Krishna. Come to the realization. No, it's only through bhakti. Bhakti mama vichanati yavanishtasmi tattvataha. Only with bhakti you can understand Krishna in tattva. And tattva means in truth. And it means also scientific. And scientific means with experience, that you really understand. So this is what Krishna wants. And this is, so to say, the gate through him if you have bhakti. And without bhakti, you cannot go to Krishna. You cannot force yourself to Goloka Vrindavan. And then, oh, I'm here also now, I made it with all my millions, or my power, or my intelligence, qualified in the spiritual world, and because I want to see Krishna, and then you run in the Ras Leela, and so many gopis, go away, my Krishna, oh, here is it, Krishna, I found you, now we're mine. Go away, no, elbow the gopis out. It's not working like this, of course. It's only working with this pure love, then Krishna is attracted. And Krishna takes us to him. So this is what we have to develop, have to work on, have to aspire for. What is bhakti? How does it work? There are so many scriptures. Prabhupada gives so many informations. And Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Krishna books, everything there in the perfect process how to become pure devotees. Even fools and rascals like me, I can say us, some might also identify with this. It's amazing. Like 10 years back or 15 years back, when I imagined what I was doing, oh my God, crazy. And now I'm sitting here speaking the Bhagavatam and yes, Hare Krishna. How is this? Because Prabhupada says, I take the crows and make out of them swans. From the crow to the swan. This is this powerful process. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Patita Pavana. So, we should never get puffed up. Now I became a sadhu. Now I'm a brahmachari. Now I'm pure devotee. We should always remember what was going on a couple of years back. I was doing the Krishna, Krishna. This is actually very good to have this background, to stay humble, right? In that sense, it's good to have been really, really fallen, because then it should keep us humble, no? Or make us humble, not that we are humble. Oh, keep us humble, make us humble. No? Not that we are humble, want to be humble. So this is Krishna's mercy, that we came out of this mess, of this craziness, and that's the reason why we have to give the opportunity to other crows who are jumping around, making their noise and their nonsense, and offer them the opportunity, give them the opportunity to also transform into swans. And there are many, and we just have to find them. This is the only problem. We have to find them. And you go on the street, hello, are you a crow who wants to be a swan? No, okay, not you. Hello, are you a crow who wants to be a swan? Well, maybe. Oh, yeah, there's some interest, so take a book and come to the temple. Yeah. In this mood we have to, and we will find there are many people who want to become devotees, who are open. Yeah. And we have to just find them. We have to knock on their door. And many will slam the door and will say no and yell at you, whatever. But this should not make us demotivate us, make us frustrated. Like Haridas Thakur and Nityananda, they were knocking many doors, and many said, "Go away, schleich dich." You know this? No, you know a little German, but this is one of the most famous German phrases, Bavarian phrases. Schleich dich means like go away. In the street we hear this sometimes. Schleich dich, huh?
Like a snake.
Yeah, schleichen means like a snake, but still, I don't know where it's coming from. So, and they were not giving up. Actually, they were so ecstatic. Nityananda, the more he saw this, he was so ecstatic. He didn't mind. I mind when I go on book distribution, this schleich dich. 1, 2 schleich dichs I can maybe accept, but 3, 4 something, then I say also, schleich du dich. Oder es gibt gleich eine. Schleich dich oder es gibt eine. Gibt eine means like, I will give you one. Now this is called ego, yeah? But when we don't have this ego and are humble and try to, Sankirtan is so ecstatic, and actually especially these guys who say schleich dich are the most funny. Because it's so, how to say, what is this word? It's so, there's a special word, I forgot now. It is so hilarious, it's simply hilarious how weird people act at times. When we are in the ego, we cannot see it, they hit us. But if not, it's just, they pretend to be demons, or actually they are spirit souls who act like completely weird, like completely crazy. Yeah? We can't tolerate this. Okay, anyways, so this is our mood. Our mood, as Prabhupada says, outward, the preaching, life comes from life. This is our message to the world. And inside, Radha Krishna Bhajan. And if we bring this together nicely, it's an interesting combination. And we should not, preach Radha Krishna bhajan. Actually, it's not for preaching. This is not for preaching. We cannot go on the street and tell the people. On the street, life comes from life. And for this, we have to be very, very, everyone according to his interest and capacity, knowledgeable. How does this work? Life comes from life. How does they understand life comes from matter? How is it that it's not like this? And so we can explain them. So science is a very important medium nowadays. And because they are bewildered, as Krishna says, covered by these atheistic doctrines also. It's the curtain. It's one of the curtains. And probably wanted us to remove it by good understanding. The science of Krishna consciousness. Meaning the cultivational part, the bhakti part, the science of that, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but also the theistic science. So it's a very interesting movement we have. Very interesting. Thank you very much for your attention. Any questions, any additions? Any doubts? Good. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Srila Prabhupada ki. Wow.